Right, so guys, pre-leaving cert examination 2020, it's the exam craft one, okay? We're looking here now at question 2. So, first thing I note is make sure you label every question and you give each part nearly a new page even if you have to, because in the mocks there was some questions, they were just bits all over the place. So I'm going to label this 2A, okay? And 2A then wants us to discuss in detail using notes and freehand sketches 3 functional requirements of an external wall for a dwelling house, okay? Big point here is notes and freehand sketches. Okay, so that means we have to give both, okay? And it's half and half for the marks. So if you give me just a sketch on its own, you get half the marks. If you give me just a note on its own, it's half the marks, okay? So let's go down through functional requirements first. Now, I'm only drawing on blank paper because I have no writing paper. You'll be answering this, obviously, on writing paper, okay? So, what's the first one of it? Well, the first one is to, I suppose, what's the wall do? It keeps the occupant safe, dry, and warm, okay? So, keeps occupants safe, dry, warm. Okay, so that there then is a note, and this part of the question here is worth 30 marks. Okay, you want 3 of them, so each one's worth 10. So you give me a note there. That's 5 marks there. Okay, they want a sketch then to show that. Okay, so how does it keep them safe, dry, and warm? Well, it's shelter from the elements. So if I have a wall here and I'm going in here, I'm going to sketch out my wall and sketch out a concrete wall of some sort, whichever one it is. Okay. And so this is rain, and label the drawings. Rain or wind, the external wall, and even draw your stick on the side here to say it. Internal it's warm, dry, and they're safe. Okay, so that might just be one example of a possible way of sketching it out just to show it. Okay, the other one, obviously maybe even better, is draw your house here. Put your walls, floor, roof. Okay, and you could do the same thing again. You can have your people inside here, and you have the rain coming down, the wind, or even just burglars. Okay, so again, same points. Wind, rain, and they're safe inside. Okay, so something like that there, that just gives us an idea. Those sketches then are worth 5 marks. So that's one. What else does it do? Well, it supports the roof. So the wall supports the roof. Supports the roof. That's my statement. That's what it does. I get 5 marks for that. Get another 5 marks up here for my sketches. 5 marks for that there. How does it support the roof? Well, I'm going to give it a sketch then. So again, I'm going to draw my walls, mainly dealing concrete walls because they're probably the handiest for me, and I think they're personally the handiest. I got my insulation here. So while they're sketches, you want to keep them kind of relatively good. Okay. So what do I have on top of the wall? I have my wall plate. I have my rafter then running out along there. Running up along the top. Another run coming in along there. From my attic. Tilt and fillet. Got my battens. My slates. Fascia board. Soffit board. Okay, and label them. 100 internal wall. Internal wall. Full 200, 300, whatever it is. Full fit inside the cavity. Wall plate. $100 by 75. Ceiling joist. 200 by 50 at 400 centers. Center to center. 50 by 50 battens. Slates. Tilt and fillet. Okay, so there's my sketch inside there now. Now don't put it, I put it up on top of it there now. I probably should have brought it down a bit more. But you get the idea. Good decent sketch of something there that gives me my 5 marks. And label the sketch. Give me another one here. What else do we have? Stop the ingress of water, something similar. Provide low maintenance, climate proof exterior surfaces. Insulate evenly against formation of cold bridges. Cold bridges, we'll have a look at the cold bridges. So prevent cold bridges. Prevent cold getting into the house, probably be a better one. Cold entering the house. Entering the house / prevent cold bridging. How does it prevent cold bridging? Well, give an example down by the floor. So again, I'm going to draw a sketch of my walls. Here, say they're going to run off down to the foundation. I got my concrete floor, got a row of insulation, got my sand, and I got my hardcore down underneath here. So hardcore, sand, insulation, insulation running up here, concrete floor, floor finish, skirting board, plaster running up the sides. We're going to have insulation in here at the ground running up along here. We'll have a cavity infill here. We'll just highlight here insulation to prevent cold bridge. Cold bridging. There's another one. What else do we got here? Three functional requirements: the external wall for domestic dwelling house. What other functions do it have? It keeps out predators. Provide support for us to put in doors and stuff. Okay, so how does it do that? Well, if we go doors and windows, so if we then look at our window detail, and particularly I'm going to look at, so I'm going to put in my pane of glass. This is my pane of glass here. Double pane of glass here. Build my frame, window frame in around it. Zoom up there, there. And same up the top here. There, it's going to come out there. It's come out there. And then I've got my window, my conquer wall, my lintels is here. Insulation is the window head. My window sill then, my frame here is sitting on the window sill there. Probably it's not going to come down that much there. I'm going to farm it out here. Okay, so the lentils here. So my statement is it allows for the inclusion of doors and windows. And how does it do that? Go back to my sketch here. Lintels, support, wall to allow access to doors and windows. So we have those there. What we're going to do is we'll finish it off and again go back and sketch in an internal plaster, 12 millimeter internal plaster. Windowsill, in a wraparound DPC. Don't be that much back in on the wall. What I've actually created here now is we've allowed for a cold bridge because I made my windowsill too big, but you get the idea. Okay, so it's a good sketch explaining what's going on. Yeah, so there's 4 ideas. Any other kind of ones, but just give a good sketch when you're giving them and give a note. Like we need at least these for each one. So it's asking us for 3 functional requirements. We need, like this is only 1 point, that is 1 point, that is 1 point, that is 1 point. And space them out more if you want, but just give a good decent sketch and a good decent note. Because if you just put in a sketch, you only get half the marks. If you only give down 3 functional requirements and give 1 sketch, you only get half the marks. If they ask for 3 functional requirements, they want 3 sketches and they want 3 different notes. So it's important that we do that. Okay. Moving on here to part B. Part B is using notes and freehand sketches. Show design detailing of 2 different distinct external wall types. Name the typical components of each wall and include typical dimensions. Well, what do we have here? We've got a couple of options here, and this is very similar. So some of you might have done this already. We've covered this in the last one already. So it wants using notes and freehand sketches to show the different design details. So I'm going to start again. I'm going to label this question 2, part B. Okay, and they want freehand sketch show the 2 different design details. Well, I'm going to go straight off into what I had already a minute ago. And probably the easiest thing here is our concrete wall versus our timber frame, our stud partition. Okay. So we need 2 wall types here. Again, it's looking for 2, so we give them 2 sketches and we give them 2 notes. Okay, so there's my wall. I'm going to put in a wall tie here. And we got our plaster, external and internal plaster. So we got our concrete block wall. So that's stating what it is. So we've got 12 millimeters TE internal plaster. We've got 100 millimeters internal block. Got our wall tie. We've got whatever we want it to be, a 200 millimeter full fill insulated cavity. 100 millimeters external block. 18 millimeters external render. Okay, so that's one wall type. Okay, what's our second wall type then? Well, we've got our timber frame one. Okay, so again, we can just start by putting our block wall, our service cavity here, and then we got our timber frame. And just put in a stud up the top here, and a stud on the bottom here. So we got our timber frame wall. So again, we have our block work. And we got plastered on the outside. Inside we got a plaster on the outside. We have our wind and air or wind resistance on our inside. Our vapor layer to help our vapor layer to help prevent moisture ingressing into the wall. And you get labeled, and we got our 12 millimeters internal plaster. We have our 200 by 50 stud work. Stud work. And we got our full fill and insulated. We have our 18 millimeter external render. And our 100 mil external block work. Okay, so it's key that we put in all our sketches here, okay? What other kind of wall types do we got? There's not really many more, to be honest. You can just change what we have. So we could have a wider, we could have a passive house timber frame, or passive house timber frame, passive house concrete block. But realistically, they're our main 2 types, and we get full marks for the 2 of them then, and it's not too bad. Okay, Part C here then is evaluate the design of each of the two wall types you've shown at 2B under each of the following headings. Ease of construction, environmental considerations, suitability for self-build. Okay, so they're asking us to evaluate the design of each of the two wall types you've shown at 2B. So this is for the two of them, okay? So we only answered one of them, so we need to make sure we're doing the two of them. So I'm going to go onto a new page, and I'm going to go, actually I'll flip this one over, so on paper. I'm going to go 2C. And note here now, we have no sketches, it's just writing, so it's concrete blockwork, or concrete block wall. Block wall. And they want us to do it under the following headings. Ease of construction, environmental considerations, and what's the other one then? Suitability for self-build. Okay, so concrete block wall, so ease of construction. So it might just be easier to label down the 3 of these. So ease of construction. Sorry, no, just checking. So what are the things? They're easy to construct. And we've got plenty of skilled workers. So who are we talking there about? We're talking about carpenters, builders, plasterers, etc. The use of materials are fairly standard materials, so it's i.e., for example, just concrete blocks, like a lot of it's concrete blocks and a lot of timber work. Concrete blocks. So just need to order bales of blocks. That's how they come. They call them bales of blocks, and there's no and the timbers, like the timbers then are all standard. And most of it's completed on site. And that's good because, which means very little for hours. So you're building as you go. Very little room for error. Okay. Environmental considerations. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Considerations. The materials are robust. Okay, so once it's up, it'll be there for a long time. extend time. So it's very extend time / weather, and it is a good heat mass. Thermal mass, a good thermal mass in the walls, because concrete has a high thermal mass. So once it gets heated up, then it'll slowly release the heat back into the house. That's the goods with it. The bad issue then is it requires large amounts of CO2. So manufacturing and making cement releases a lot of CO2 into the atmosphere. And it is a high embodied energy. So basically, there's a lot of energy used for high embodied energy. Means there's a lot of processes required to make it, so quarrying it and transporting it. So there's a lot of CO2 released there as well. It's slow to build. And it's hard. It's manual labor. It's a lot of manual labor. So you have to lift all these block layers. Have to lift these block by block, and it just takes a lot longer. Especially then to dry out. Like concrete takes time to set. Which again slows you down. Suitability for self-build. So I'm gonna skip on here to another page. Yep. So there's suitability. It's suitable for self-build. But the issues with it are it requires a lot of organizing, and can be difficult to get skilled workers. You get the skilled workers or the trades when needed. So self-build is where you are like the leader, so you project manage when each job is done. So when you have the foundation set, you then go and you find a builder or block layer to block the wall, to lay the walls to a certain height. You then go find your plumber to set his pipes, and so on and so forth. So you're the one that's always going off organising who comes in next, and it can be difficult then from time to time to get different guys in to come in and do different jobs. So on and so forth. But the other side of it is you can do jobs yourself, and it's easy to get advice on. because lots of people are around to get advice on it. So there's lots of guys around that are well used to it, so it's easy to get advice on, so they can give you advice on that one. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one then we said is a timber frame construction. So, and what's our three headings again there? We'll just have a look here at the question. Ease of construction. It's probably less physically demanding. To build versus concrete block. We can have fast manufacturing because it can be built off site. Off-site and dropped in. So it can go up in a matter of days. It's easy for services because we just have our services cavity, and the services then go into that, so it's in the service cavity. Again, it goes up very quickly, so there's less likely of damage happening inside, so that's another one. So other issues with it is you need to be high, there has to be a high level of so this is ease of construction, so there are all the positives. Negatives then is there's to be a high level of precision and accuracy. And you also need to make sure to keep all the materials dry. Whereas in concrete, you can just leave out the concrete blocks. So that's ease of construction. What is the next? Environmental considerations. So wood is sustainable. Sustainable material. So if it's sustainable, obviously we have less CO2 or carbon dioxide used in the manufacturing of it. The walls, won't take as long to heat up. As concrete blocks will. Anything else? No, that's about it. So the big one there again is just reduced CO2 or carbon emissions for it. And the last one is suitability. for self-build. Okay, it requires a high level of skill. Skill which not everyone can achieve. Ensuring air tightness. Ensuring air tightness is crucial. And it's also a shorter time to build, so you'll be in it sooner, so it's handy that way. Okay, so now just having a quick look back through there then. Okay, so this is question 2A there. We're just going to look at these three. What do we have here? So that's full answers there. So we've used up 6 sheets of paper there, okay? So when they ask for a note and a freehand sketch, we need to give a note and a freehand sketch. And when they ask for just notes, we give them notes, and we ask for sketches, we just give them sketches. But we just need to go into a bit of detail, a bit more detail than what we actually went through, rather than just skimming through it with tiny little thumbnails, making nice big sketches. And that gets you full marks there then, okay? So because you know most of the material, it's just about putting what you do over.